Hi everyone, my name is Claudia. I hold a master's degree in zoo conservation biology, and today I'd like to talk about Podarcis raffonei, commonly known as the Aeolian wool lizard. As the name suggests, it's a species of lizard endemic to the Aeolian Islands, where originally was probably widely distributed, but today it occurs only in 4 small areas and in very low numbers. But before talking in more details about the species and its conservation status, I'd like to give a brief introduction of the Aeolian Islands. The Aeolian archipelago is a complex of 7 major islands and a set of islets and rocks found in the Tyrrhenian Sea in South Italy. The islands were originally submarine volcanoes that emerged about 700,000 years ago, and 2 of them, Stromboli and Vulcano, are still today active volcanoes. The Aeolian Islands are known all around the world for capers and sun-dried tomatoes that make some of the most typical local dishes. And speaking of unique features of the islands, I wonder if it would be positive for Podarcis raffonei to become as popular as the capers and the sun-dried tomatoes, or if these would actually expose the species to a higher risk of being a victim of the illegal pet trade. Podarcis raffonei was first described in 1952 by the zoologist Mertens, and for a long time it was considered a subspecies of Podarcis wagnerianus. Only in the early 90s, and precisely in 1994, it was recognized as a distinct species on the basis of genetic analysis and morphological comparisons. The background photo of the slide shows an individual of Podarcis raffonei commonly characterized by brown dorsal parts and gray and red ventral parts. So, as previously mentioned, Podarcis raffonei was probably widely distributed in the archipelago, but and this is confirmed by the presence of hybrids of the species in the major islands. However, today its distribution is limited only to 4 small sites. One is called Capo Grosso, is a promontory in one of the major islands, Vulcano, and here the population counts between around 200 individuals. The biggest population is found in Strombolicchio, where it is estimated to be between 500 and 700 animals. Scoglio Faraglione has a population size of 200 to 400 individuals. And the lowest population is at La Canna, presumably about 30 individuals. So the overall population counts not more than 1,000 individuals that occupy a total area of less than 10 square kilometers. For the small geographic range and the low population density and the continuing decline, the IUCN Red List of Endangered Species classified Podarcis raffonei as critically endangered, meaning that it's only one step away from extinction. The main threat to the survival of the species is the hybridization and competition with the invasive alien species Podarcis siculus, probably introduced in the islands by humans in historical times. But other causes of decline are habitat loss, low population density, high levels of inbreeding, and very low genetic variability. The genetic analysis conducted on the species confirmed also the presence of 2 subspecies, Podarcis raffonei and Raffonei alvearioi. So, taking into account the high risk of extinction that the species is exposed to, a list of conservation action was proposed, including the creation of reserves, law enforcement, education programs, habitat protection, and captive breeding. A captive breeding program is now in place at Rome Zoo, that in conjunction with University of Rome and the Italian National Institute for Environmental Protection and Research proposed a conservation plan that involves the collection of wild individuals and their reproduction in captivity in the labs of Rome Zoo. The final goal of the program is to create a viable captive population of the species to be reintroduced when the conditions allow. In the meantime, students and researchers are conducting studies aimed at clarifying some ethological and ecological aspects of the species. So I thank you very much for watching and listening, and I hope that this presentation increased your interest and knowledge about this very peculiar lizard. Thank you again.